Hello everyone, Simon here. Welcome back to the architecture of Hitman World of Assassination. We're in Dubai. Look at that. Whoa, everything's shiny and curvy and gold. What's going on? That oil money, am I right? Look at all that gold. What's happening here? So we have some... these are elevators, by the way. Let's just go here for a minute and look out the window. Come back and talk about this later on. Oh, look at that, the sun's shining in. There's a massive, massive window. There's a sky up there, and then... where are we? Oh, where are we? Let's go take a look. Where exactly?
Okay. You're looking a bit green in the gills.
And oh my god, what's going on down there? Are those buildings? Is that a balloon? Is that a hot air balloon? Are we above the clouds? Alright, so we're in Dubai, right? In the United Arab Emirates. And we all know, or we should all know, that the tallest building in the world currently is in Dubai. It's called the Burj Khalifa. And I'm pretty sure that this level is takes inspiration from that, being a very, very tall building in Dubai. This place looks like that, by the way. So we're at the very top. At the very top there appears to be like a glass pyramid. And then inside the glass pyramid is this stuff. Alright, so let me go to the map in case you're not familiar with Dubai. Where are we? Alright, Saudi Arabia, the Arabian Peninsula. And then over here, this is the United Arab Emirates. We zoom in, zoom in. There's Dubai right there. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Zoom, 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 zoom. There it is, Dubai. And then if we continue to zoom in, right about there, the Burj Khalifa is here. In fact, can we get a little... oh, look, there it is. Conspicuously large tower. Significantly larger than all the other towers around it. Can we get a street view? What does that look like? Oh, what's going on? Oh, look at that. Oh, no. Oh, towers? Towers? Not bad. What the hell? I said, why is it so big? Do you have to be that big? Or is it like just significantly taller than every other tower in the world, right? So that's the Burj Khalifa. It's comically large. It really is. It is comically large. Comically large architecture is what that is. Why is it so big? Okay, the Burj Khalifa. Look at this. This is your building, and this is my building, alright? This is me, and then this is you down here. Comically large. The tallest building in the world, very famous. The thing about the real tower, though, there's a whole lot of information if you're interested. But what I want to talk about is actually this is the real tower. The very top bit is mechanical. So mechanical would be like elevator, you know, like the motor that drives the elevator. It would be stuff like ventilation. So there's mechanical. The top 3 floors, mechanical, and then there's communication and broadcast. So there's like a broadcast tower at the very top, and then more mechanical, and then it's a lounge. It's an observatory lounge. And then what? 3 floors of corporate suites, and then another observatory, and then more corporate suites, more mechanical, more corporate suites, more observatories, and then all the other stuff. So what I'm trying to say is the real Burj Khalifa, it doesn't have a palace. It doesn't have what we like this thing at the top. What it does have at the top of the Burj Khalifa is the lounge. There's some photos. You'll notice that it's quite close. The reality is that like it tapers up, and the very top floors are actually not that big. And so you got a great view, and you got big windows, but there's not that much floor space, right? And then so a little bit further down, there's like rooms. You can like hire a room, Again, a big view. So again, it's not that big up there actually, at the very top. And then like another observation floor. So what we have in the game is not anything like the real thing. The real thing is not like this. This is a little extravagant. What this does look like though, you know what? It looks like a palace. It doesn't look like the top of the real tower, it looks like a palace. And what it actually reminds me of, look at this. This is the Qasir El Watan. I'm just gonna mangle that pronunciation. I don't speak Arabic. Qasr El Watan, I believe. And this is also in the United Arab Emirates. This is the presidential palace. It looks like that. And not only does it look like that, if we go into Google image search, it looks like that. It looks like that. Oh, that's nice. That's a nice house. I wouldn't mind living there. Look at that. Not bad, huh? And then there's like all of this. Oh, look at that. That's not bad. Yeah, no, very nice. Very nice, very cool. I mean, this is... Is that real? Is that grass real? Or is that digitally enhanced? That looks like it's digitally enhanced. Not sure I trust that. Some interiors are very nice, very extravagant. So if we look at the shapes in game,
can you smell it? I had beans, and I think they were off.
This is more like a palace, right? So what we actually have here in the game is not the observation towers of the real Burj Khalifa. It's more like a palace that's been shaped into the penthouse of this tower. And in fact, as we walk around, just like a real palace, you're gonna find a lot of spaces that don't really need to be there, but they're there because it's a palace, and a palace has too many spaces, usually. It's just a big, big building, right? And even here, like, this is unnecessarily tall. Okay. So that's basically it. It's a combination of two things. Combination of the Burj Khalifa, the tallest tower in the world, and a palace. Right. So let's go ahead and... Well, before we go ahead and look at things in detail, just a word about the architectural motifs that we're gonna find. Look at that. We have like wavy lines. So like the wavy lines suggest like a cool breeze. And then we have plant motifs. We have plant motifs there. This is less obviously plant motifs, but you have like leaves there. And as we look around, we see like, oh, look at that, leaves there. Plant motifs, and then we have like those squiggly lines. See those squiggly lines there? They're like clouds, and wind, and plants. And so there's a lot of these motifs here in the architecture. If you look at that, like that's kind of like plant motifs there in the railings. So it evokes like a cool breeze in the garden, kind of like that, like open skies, garden. There's some water in some places. And so in the Arab world, gardens have a special significance. Especially because if you look at the Arabian Peninsula, you will notice, maybe, that there's a lot of desert, right? There's not a lot of natural gardens in the Arabian Peninsula. Like, it looks like that. It's just a lot of sand. And so in the Arabian Peninsula, like an oasis is a very special thing, very like a precious and special thing. Gardens are like a constructed oasis is also a very precious and special thing. And so like in Arabic culture and in Arabic historical architecture, like gardens are a major thing that people spend a lot of time and money on. So these like plant motifs evoking that garden in the desert. So this is like a thing that is especially significant in Arabia. And also there's the religious reference as well, because like the Garden of Eden, paradise. So the garden, the paradise. So it's kind of like nice place that people desire. And we'll find a lot of these motifs throughout the level here. Not the religious stuff necessarily, but just like plant and water and things like that. Okay, so let's go take a tour around this level. I've been calling it a palace. It's kind of like a palace. And we'll see what we find. Alright, let's go back to the entrance lobby. The elevator lobby. And we'll start there. So I like, you know, look at this. Plant motifs. I can see the flower there, and then the water. Oh yeah, look at that. Very consistent. Okay, so the entry to the penthouse is from these elevators. Oh, look how shiny it is. Crazy. Look at that. So plant motifs there, plant motifs there. Look at that. Leaves. And the tower is vaguely like a classical column, isn't it? And if you're not familiar with your history, you might think, well, why does it look like a Greek column? Doesn't it look like a Greek column? Well, here's the thing. Turns out Greece is quite close to Anatolia, which is modern-day Turkey, which is then quite close to the Middle East. So actually, all that stuff is right next to each other. Like the Persians and the Greeks actually had a lot of interactions, sometimes wars. And at one point, Alexander the Great, a Greek, went and conquered a lot of the Middle East and established a bunch of Greek kingdoms there. And then later on, the Roman Empire had some provinces in the Middle East, like the Syrian province and the Egyptian province. Like those were Roman provinces for a while. And so the classical world and the Middle East were actually a lot closer than you might imagine, right? These days, because later on with the rise of Islam, the religious separation, like made the difference between Europe and Middle East more pronounced. But before that, actually, before the rise of Islam, like the Middle East and Europe were actually like kind of intertwined in a lot of ways. Like there was a lot of interactions between the two of them. And so yeah, there are Greek ruins all the way almost to India. Like there's not, I mean there's a few of them, but like every now and then, like you just kind of come across a Greek temple or something, like a ruined Greek temple out in the Middle East and in Iran, and it's because of that influence, like because Alexander the Great actually went all the way to India almost, and so that's why there's like a lot of kind of Greek ruins in Iran actually, and so like the Middle East, so some of these influence in the Middle East, so like especially like Egypt was a Roman province, and so like a lot of these so-called classical shapes, they're not just European classical shapes, they're also Middle Eastern classical shapes. So these columns, yes, you will find them in the Middle East actually, and they look a lot like Greek columns because some of them actually are Greek columns. Anyway, that's a bit of a tangent, but just so like we understand the history of things, right? Okay, so down here actually it's quite dark. It's quite interesting, isn't it? So the elevator lobby is deliberately dark, and then that is deliberately bright, right? So there's like kind of this dark blue, and you go up, and then it opens up into the white. Look at that. So very theatrical, extremely theatrical. Like kind of emphasizing and exaggerating this contrast, kind of coming from the dark into the light. And everything is white up here, and everything's like kind of dark blue, almost black down here. Theatrics. Architectural theatrics, right? Just kind of make that transition as strong as possible. Before we go up though, anything else we need to say about this? Not really. Again, plant motifs, look at that. Leaf shapes on the ground. No, I think that's about it. The elevator lobby is actually kind of boring. There's a cloakroom over there. What does that say? Lockbox room? And... right.
Damn, that's a whole lot of...
So with a water feature there, I'm a bit dubious about this water feature. If you look down... oh, there's a lot of floors. Look at that. There's a lot of floors down there. I don't think it's safe to just drop water that far down, because water has weight, right? Water's quite heavy. You drop water down, it gathers a lot of momentum, and the kinetic energy of that just hitting something down below. Not sure if that's safe, actually. Like, a bit of waterfall is okay, but when you drop things too far, you might do damage. I don't know what's down there. Maybe it's okay, I don't know. I wouldn't do this. This seems unsafe. To drop anything this far seems unsafe. Anyway, the water feature is kind of cool. Like, the idea of this is cool. I like it. I like the idea of it. Oh, fountain. Oh, like washing is a. So I'm not Muslim. So I'm just gonna tell you what I know. I might be wrong. If I'm wrong, please don't get too offended. But like in Islam, I believe before you go into a mosque, you have to wash. And that's just kind of, well, it's just good hygiene, but it's like it's a ritual, right? You kind of wash the sand and the dirt off, and then you go into the mosque. And I think it might be the same for houses too. Like, it's just a like a little ritual, a little ceremony before you go indoors. You just kind of wash a little bit. So this might be for that, although I'm not sure if you're actually supposed to dip your hands in or anything. But the idea of there being like a fountain at the entrance, and you kind of like wash your hands or something before you go in. That's I believe it's specifically an Arabic thing. I'm not sure though. It could be just the whole Middle East has that. And then we get to here, right? We were here before, a giant atrium, giant glass atrium. So that glass, it looks very cool. I don't think that's plausible to get sheets of glass that big. I mean, you might be able to do the same thing with just smaller pieces of glass assembled together. I don't think you can get a piece of glass that big. The thing is, I mean, you can cast. So like you can make glass, right? But this, like, the size of the piece of glass depends on the size of the equipment that you use to make the glass. Usually it's float glass these days. You need like a huge bed to float a giant sheet of glass. And okay, so you made, let's say you make the giant sheet of glass. Then you need to ship it. To ship it, what do? You put it into a container? Containers aren't that big. They're not that long, are they? You see what I mean? How do you ship the giant piece of glass from the factory to the building site if there aren't any trucks that long to carry the glass? You see what I mean? And then, okay, let's say you got this giant piece of glass to the building site. Now you need to lift it with a crane. Use a crane, lift the whole thing up, and install a single giant piece of glass. What I'm trying to say is, everything, like every step of the way is implausible. Whereas if you just have like several smaller pieces of glass and you just kind of assemble them on site, that's a lot more plausible. So this seems a little silly how big that sheet of glass is. But you get the idea. It's the big glass box. It looks cool though, right? Very cool. And right at the entrance to the... facing the entrance in the atrium is a stage. I think at some point an NPC comes along and gives a speech. There is an event going on, so I guess we're all gathered here for a speech. Let's take a look around this way.
Trust the sheikh to make all this.
So as we said before, the plant motifs. Let's take a closer look at this. Oh yeah, very interesting. Leaf shapes. And then up here we have a garden, actually. An indoor garden. As we said before, gardens are important in Arabic architecture. This one though is not like a traditional... So a traditional Arabic garden, it would be walled, there'd be a wall around it because a garden is precious in the desert, and also like the desert wind would kind of blow and blow sand in, and so you kind of wall it off to protect it from the desert wind. And then you would have like probably water channels, like a fountain and water channels, and then there'll be a geometric garden with plants in geometric patterns. Usually that's like an Islamic garden. Here, A little less geometric, a little more modern. It's fine. We have these vertical gardens. So this thing, if you're not familiar with how these work, what you have is a mesh, like a, I think these days it's synthetic fiber mesh, so like a nylon mesh or something. And it's basically hydroponics, right? So the plants, they have roots. There's no soil, maybe a little bit of soil. No soil, not really. Actually, no, am I right? No, I'm pretty sure there's no soil. I think it's hydroponics, and like the plant kind of grow the roots into the mesh, and that holds the plant in place. And then you drip the water and the nutrients behind the mesh, and it kind of goes past the roots, and the plants pick up the nutrients from the water, and it's basically hydroponics. So no soil, it's just liquid. And that's how the vertical gardens work. So behind there is water, and then there's like, you know, water recirculates down the bottom. So that's how those work. Up there's a ceiling garden. That's a little stranger. Not sure how that works. Because how do you stop the water dripping down, right? So, I mean, what I think happens there is, I guess you would have channels with water in them, and the plants, their roots would dip into the channel, and the rest of the plant would hang over it, right? And I guess that's how that would work, right? That you just have like a series of channels where the water goes, and then the plants kind of just hang off the side like that. I guess that's how you have like a plant growing in the ceiling. I don't think that's a good idea though. I really don't, because like the plants will fall down sometimes. I guess like leaves would fall down, when they like dead leaves would fall down. And how do you stop it from dripping? I still think it will still drip though. Wouldn't it drip water down? Not sure about that. It looks cool. I'm not sure it works in real life though. Anyway, here we have the garden. It's kind of small actually, now that I think about it. It's not very impressive, is it? Is this real grass or fake grass? I don't think real grass would survive people stepping on it over and over again. Right, some plants here, and then over here we have an open balcony. Alright, so about open balconies. First of all, okay, cool. You have an open balcony above the clouds, very cool. But the thing about being this high up is the wind. There's a lot of wind up here because there's no friction. So near the ground you have like buildings and trees and things, and the ground itself kind of slows down the wind. The higher up you go, the faster the wind speed. And so when you're up this high and there's absolutely no shelter or around you, the wind is just blasting you in the face, right?
Why are you all up in my face, mister?
So you probably don't want to open the window when you're this high up. Like even if you're like 30 stories up, you kind of don't want to open the window because the wind's just blasting you in the face. We are a lot more than 30 stories up. We're a lot higher than that. Yeah, I don't think it would be like this in real life. I think it would be a lot less pleasant than this in real life. I'm not sure what's happening over there.
Such a waste. So much potential squandered.
There's a
She's gonna be
burning
this
oil field. That is to the east though. Is that supposed to be...
going to be simple. This is why
What is going on over there? What is the game trying to tell us? So we're in Dubai. Over to the east is Iran and then Pakistan. No, Iran is there. The oil fields are that way, by the way. So the last time they were burning oil fields, it was over to the northwest in Kuwait and Iraq. I don't know what the game's trying to tell us. Why are they burning oil fields over to the east? I'm not sure what that's about. Okay, moving on from the garden. So here, we're not going up here, but this goes into a backstage area. We'll come back to this. And then here, upstairs, we'll come back to this as well. We'll go upstairs from this point in a little bit. Back here, we have a sort of like a nothing space. So you know, when you're in a palace, or when you like build a palace, sometimes like you just have too many rooms and nothing to put in the rooms. And this is one of those rooms, right? It's just a space with nothing in it. When your palace is so big, you don't even know what to do. Like, what's this? There's nothing, it's just a couple of benches. More plant motifs though, that's kind of cool. Look at that. Look at that shape. Cool columns. It's just a nothing space. The space doesn't do anything. Oh, we have too many rooms. Your hotel has too many rooms, Your Highness. We don't know what to do with the rooms. Okay, back to the atrium, and then on to the other side. Alright, same thing, plant motifs.
Hello,
Here,
but upstairs, do you by any chance know who's
we
staying
have
there?
a bit of a
I
bar,
hear it's not just the royal high.
I can't help you.
and then behind this little curtain, we have the black gold bar. Oh, that's interesting. The black gold bar. Black gold is crude oil, and you see it. Look at these motifs on the ground. Look at this oil slick. The gold looks like an oil slick. Look at the wall there. The gold is shaped to look like an oil slick. And then the roof is just this kind of oozing oil dripping from the ceiling, but it's gold. It's actually kind of gross. Look, crude oil is not attractive. It's kind of just dirty and gross, right? But anyway, the bar has a crude oil theme. I mean, it's kind of a caricature of the United Arab Emirates, I suppose. Okay, black gold, I get it. It's black, and it's gold, and it looks like an oil slick. You get it? I get it. Do you get it? Right? Right. You get it, right? Cool. Bit of a balcony here, a special VIP area
Do you see that?
for
Oh,
the
just a
black
sec.
gold bar. Nothing too remarkable. Alright, moving on from this very subtle... Alright, very subtle decorations. Another open balcony. Again, like it's never gonna be this pleasant, this high up. There's no way. Here, look at that. A Cumulus Sky is the Limit by Lucy Phillips. So here we have a modern art installation in this part of the building. Lucy Phillips. So this is, I think, supposed to be deliberately bad. Right, you have a bunch of plastic cubes, vaguely like clouds. Like, what is it? The biggest mistake when it comes to environmental preservation is believing someone else would do it. I mean, okay, you're not wrong, but... So what? The Earth is not something we inherit, but something we borrow from the next generation. Okay. I mean, yes. A civilization grows great when old men plant trees whose shade they shall never benefit from. Okay, yes, you're right, but... It's just deliberately bad modern art. It's very funny, actually. It's kind of... White cubes, okay, and then just kind of lights that turn on and off. And just a big glowing circle at the end of it. It's just, oh, clouds? Okay, clouds. I get it. Do you get it? Do you get it, you guys? Do you understand? It's clouds. Do you understand? Yeah. Do you understand the message? The message they're trying to tell us? Protecting nature, man, it's important. Just like clouds. Oh, look at that. There's water on the ground. Why is there water on the ground? What does that mean? And a giant circle. What does that mean? Alright, so this is deliberately bad modern art. And then we come on the other side. Ah, okay. Out the other side, and we have another bar. Oh, there's the bar. There's like 3 bars right one after the other. Isn't that cool? This is completely open too. There's no roof here, right? So again, I don't think the weather's gonna be this pleasant up here. It's gonna be cold and windy. Cold and windy up here. Wait, where's that? Oh, that's the same burning oil fields.
Hello, sir.
Actually, I wanted to just check. Is the carpet temporary or permanent? Because look, the blue stuff, this is temporary, by the way. The blue theme is the art exhibit. I'm just wondering, like, which part of this is temporary and which part is permanent? Can't really tell.
Hi.
Like, is the bar permanent? Can't really tell. I mean, it could be, or it could be temporary. Alright, and then this goes back in the loop. And we loop back to the entrance of the art installation. And then back down to the black gold bar. Right, so this is the public part of the building. I was gonna say, actually, can we see it from here? Can you see that? It's not that clear, is it? If you look carefully, there are solar panels in the glass. I don't think you can really see it from this side. No, they're really hidden on the side. There's transparent solar panels on all the glass facades. Or at least I think there is. We'll get a better view of it in some other places. Alright, so this is like the public, so the bottom floor is the public area. We have atrium, garden, black gold bar, and then an exhibition space, which is currently taken up by that silly cloud art installation. Let's go upstairs, which the main path upstairs is this way. This big ass staircase into a bit of a checkpoint, security checkpoint. There's no one in the security checkpoint. Oh, there's also all these balconies too. The balconies don't really do anything, but they do overlook the great atrium. It looks cool, but it doesn't do anything. Up to here, a bit of a waiting area, and then continuing up. So this is the reception to the penthouse. There's a penthouse apartment above us. The reception is here. There's some other spaces too. There's this a meeting room here, which is kind of interesting. Interesting place for a meeting room is kind of neither here nor there. But I think the point of this is, if they want to see you in private, but they don't want to invite you up to the penthouse, then they see you here. So right, that's public. Right down there, that's the big atrium, that's public. This is like private, but not too private. So if they want to talk to you in private, but they don't really like you that much, then they talk to you here. But if we continue up the stairs... Oh, another transition from dark to light, look at that. Another dark, and then into the light. And then... Whoa! Alright, so this is the penthouse. Again, the plant motifs, you see like a flower opening up. Plant motifs, we have a tree. We have water here actually. That's water. And then the big ass glass ceiling continues upwards, the big glass pyramid. Again, I don't think there's enough structure holding the glass together there, but you know, it's a video game. Yeah, no, there's no way there's enough structure holding that up. Okay, so we have the penthouse apartments. We can't even fit the whole thing on the screen at once. Can I step back? Let me just step back. Get the whole thing in there. Okay, there you go. Oh, there you go. Ah, interesting. What did I have to say about this? Not much. So again, like the plant motifs, there's one single tree there. That's kind of cool. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be symbolic of anything, but sometimes there are like special trees, special with special meaning. The water here is not very practical because that's a big open space down there. You know, water has a tendency to seep through any gaps, right? Because like if you have any gaps, it'll leak. So you really have to keep this watertight. And anything that's not watertight, it'll just start dripping. Start dripping water down there. So I mean, it's very cool, but also very difficult to maintain. And as soon as you stop maintaining it, you'll notice because it'll start leaking, right? I guess you can just like clear the water out and just have this dry and it'll be almost as impressive. But the water is just like an extra little bit of extravagance. Also the lack of railings. This is super dangerous, right? There's nothing safe about this. This is this violates health and safety laws. Black and white and gold. Desert colors, I guess? Desert tones? Very cool. I mean, I guess you're relying on the sky to really give you the color, right? Like in a setup like this, or in a architectural arrangement like this, the sky will change color. Like, you know, sunrise to midday to sunset to nighttime. So the sky changes color, and then like your building itself is just like white and gold, and then the water reflects the sky as well. So like the trick, the architectural technique here is to kind of rely on the natural world to give you the colors. Before we go inside, just a quick note about this other side. Another very unsafe balcony. Extremely unsafe balcony. And then somebody's hitting golf balls here. This is, you don't do this. Because we're in the city, we're in the middle of Dubai. Any golf balls you chuck over the outside, it will land on someone. Alright, this is extremely unsafe. Oh, we can see the solar panels, look at that. So from this side you can see that there's actually solar panels in all the windows. Not sure how effective that is or how much power that would generate. But very cool. Okay, let's get inside here and check out this place. So the penthouse apartments, this thing, it's basically a house, right? It's basically a very fancy house. And we can understand it the same way we understand a house, right? We have an entrance hall. Oh, look, the blue sky. Well, not the blue sky, but the blue color evoking a blue sky. Blue and white and gold. Straight in the entrance hall, we have the lounge with a big screen TV. Right, very cool. Double height space. Very impressive. Nice seats, nice rug. And we'll see that there's glass on every side, by the way. There's the bar down there. So we're up in the top of the tower, and the apartment basically takes up the whole floor plate. Over on this side we have a study. It's meant to be a study, but there's not that many books. I mean, there's a few books down there. Not too many books in the study. There's like a one set of chairs and then another set of chairs. And then a desk with a computer. I feel like there's not that much studying going on in this study. It's mostly just sitting around. So this is the water again. There are little balconies out here. Doesn't really do anything, the balcony, but the view is nice. Alright, back across the entry hall. On the other side we have dining. Oh, look at that fancy dining table. Oh, not bad. Fancy dining table, fancy dining chairs. I wouldn't mind those chairs. And then behind here we have a kitchen. The kitchen is large, but surprisingly not that many cooktops. Like there's only 4 cooktops and 1 sink. So even though it's a big kitchen with a lot of bench tops, there's not much cooking space, right? And I guess the table is only 10 people, 11 people.
Hello, sir.
Just thinking maybe you would want a more thoroughly equipped kitchen to cook bigger meals. Because you expect like a palace like this, people are gonna waste food, right? Even though there's only 11 people, they're gonna do like a 20-course meal or something silly like that. So maybe the kitchen should be bigger. Maybe. Back here we have a pantry with a lot of food, in case you're wondering what's back here.
Then I found this recipe blog where the writers had some.
Alright, let's go upstairs. So here, remember the lounge is double height. So this is the upper part of the lounge with a piano. And then on this side, this is apparently the master suite, master bedroom. Oh, very impressive. Gonna lie down in bed and watch the sky, very nice. Very black. It's still the black and gold, huh? Different varieties of black and gold. On this side we have a bit of a private lounge with a private bar.
Hello.
Not bad. And then a private balcony as well. Again, rather unsafe. So there's that building there. I was thinking like... Is that... That looks kind of vaguely familiar. Hold on, let me just go back to Dubai. So in Dubai... Where were we? Oh, I'm lost. No, I'm not lost. The Burj Khalifa's there. There's the Dubai frame. What does that actually look like? Hold on, can I zoom in? Dubai frame, what's a good angle? The Dubai frame is just one. Can I move over a bit? So that's the frame, right? So it's a building that's shaped like a giant rectangle. So they've taken the frame and they've added 2 more frames to it. Is that right? Okay, I mean, okay. So I think all these towers are basically fictional. This is not the real Dubai. Alright, back inside. Over here we have a giant bath. A big bathroom, kind of dark, and also completely closed. So the bathroom's kind of modest, because in this game, other bathrooms have like big windows. You can like enjoy the view from the bath. Not this one. Although I'm not sure it it means anything. Okay, so now we have this balcony, right? And remember the plant shapes? So now we are behind the big plant motif shapes back here. They look like that from this side. And remember down there's the tree, and there's the water, and there's the big glass atrium. Right? Very cool. Oh, the balcony is huge too, look at that. Big seating area there, another big seating area there. I'm not sure you're ever gonna have that many people up here though, because it's like it's basically a house. Like how many people are you gonna entertain in your private house? Especially because we have the big space downstairs too, right? Because this is like a palace, let's say. If you're gonna entertain a lot of guests, you're gonna be downstairs in the black gold bar and in the exhibition hall and all that. And then up here, this is like your private home. What I'm trying to say is this just the palace being really big for no good reason, like palaces tend to be? Or is it like practically intended for you to host maybe 20 or 30 people up here in a private event? I'm not sure. I guess you can do either, right? Anyway, up on this side of the building, we have, this is the guest bedroom, or like the map says it's the guest bedroom. There's basically 2 bedrooms up here, although only 1 bathroom. A little surprised there's no attached bathroom to this one. And then that's basically it. So that's the apartment. That's the penthouse apartment. If you think about it, it's actually really conventional, right? We have lounge, dining, kitchen, study, bathroom, 2 bedrooms, and that's it. That's basically a house. So not that unusual, this palace. So we have the public space, the private house, and then next we're gonna look at the service areas. So there's still a whole lot of back areas where all the servants are and the security. So let's go ahead and walk through that as well. We have ventilation equipment, right? So there's like a service area. And then coming down this staircase, basically a back entrance into the penthouse apartment. Over this way, outside, we have a helipad. If you want to travel by helicopter, just gonna look around a little bit again. That's fictional, right? Can't really tell sometimes. Like it looks vaguely like something in the real world, but then you can't quite put your finger on it. They've done a pretty good job making things that look vaguely familiar. Oh, is it gold plated? Is the helicopter gold plated? It's half gold plated. You wouldn't use gold for a helicopter, by the way, because gold's too heavy. And you need your helicopter to fly. Alright, so back here, this leads back to the penthouse reception. Remember this? This was the front entrance to the penthouse.
Please stay back.
And so the back entrance to the penthouse is over that way. Security room. Pretty unremarkable. But it is close to both entrances to the penthouse, right? So you need your guards nearby. Over here we have a little balcony here, which overlooks the main atrium. So this is basically a guard area. This is not a public area. And I guess it's maybe useful for guards to be able to look down and keep an eye on things. Nice view though from up here. Look at this. Very interesting. You can observe your guests secretly. Over this way we have a maintenance corridor. And the maintenance corridor actually overlooks the main atrium. I'm not sure I would put the maintenance corridor here, just because it's a nice view. If you look at the map, there's a whole lot of nothing space here, right? So in the real building, there would be rooms here. What I would expect, actually, is you would put the maintenance corridor back here, and you would put some rooms here. Maybe, like, I don't know, meeting rooms, offices, whatever it is. So then the rooms have the view, and then the maintenance corridor doesn't need the view. Like, the corridor doesn't need the view, right? So if it was a real building, I would arrange things a little bit differently. But since, like, those rooms don't exist in the game, it's just kind of blank space. I guess there's no harm in putting the corridor here for the game, because at least for us, we can look at this view, right? From up here. That leads nowhere. We don't need to go there. Over on this side, we have a server room with a lot of servers. This is related to gameplay, but I guess every big building needs computer servers, right?
Oh shit! I must go and get the from the.
Bit of a storage area. This is toilet, staff toilet. This is another back entrance up to the penthouse. That says penthouse staff, right? Let me just show you real quick where this goes. So this is like the back entrance into the pantry, and then the kitchen is here. So this is actually really well placed. Because if you want to bring food up here, you don't want to bring food up the main entrance. Especially if it smells. Like if you're gonna bring like a raw meat or something up here, then you want to bring it down up the back. So the back entry straight into the kitchen makes a lot of sense. And then this goes into the main lounge. Right. So this is like really well considered, actually. Especially given like all the funny angles and up and down and all that. Just managing to fit the staircase in here. Nice. It's not easy to fit spaces together in 3 dimensions and then have everything work in a way that makes sense. Like, you know, having the service entry go directly to the kitchen. Like, that has to make sense. Sort of thing that real architects have to try to grapple with when they design buildings, right? Anyway, downstairs. Oh, by the way, like the service areas are also kind of well ornamented too. Look at those leaf motifs there. Okay, now into the proper service areas. Now we're down to the bare concrete. And then we're in here. So this gets a little bit confusing because there's a lot of blind corridors. Firstly, this part. This is the backstage area of the Cloud exhibit. I don't want to go there just yet. Let's go there last, just because it's a little confusing. Over on this side, more security rooms. There's a lot of security rooms in this building, by the way. So, security room, maintenance, security computers, etc., etc. So this was the main staircase up to the penthouse. Remember this stairs? Hold on, let me just find my notes. We can go out there and I'll show you. So remember this? This was this staircase. So this is the main path up to the penthouse from the atrium, right? So behind there, this is the security area. On this side, and then on the other side of the building, this is the other side of the atrium. Another security room. Right, another security room. It's a lot of security. Stairs down to the black gold bar. Right. Remember that ceiling? This is the black gold bar, so this is like behind the bar. And this little balcony overlooks the atrium again. I mean, it's easy to get lost in here. I don't blame you if you don't know where the hell we are. Security area, and then this is here. So the black gold bar was over there, and then the silly cloud installation is that way. Alright, back to the service areas. We have something storage. Okay, so now let's go into the art installation. So basically, the big atrium is on one side. The art gallery, it's called art gallery here, the exhibition space is on the opposite side of it. And you'll notice that everything is scaffolding and temporary back here. So the cloud installation is behind here, and then there's like space, so that's a temporary space, and then there's scaffolding in between that and the walls of the actual building, right? So this is back here, remember? Look, so this is like, these are temporary walls put into this space. And if you come in here, this is like the installation in there, right? It's confusing. Coming upstairs. So this is the building. Look at that. Look at that up there. The molding at the edge of the ceiling there. The ceiling is blue. So what I'm trying to show you is the actual exhibition hall has a blue ceiling and white walls, and it does have these openings to the walkways up there. And then it goes that way, so it's like a rectangle with a triangle bit on one side. That's the shape of the exhibition hall. And then inside that exhibition hall, they've built this installation. Right in there. And on one side of the exhibition hall, actually it's all glass on the back side. Is it all glass on the bottom as well? Mostly glass, right? And then like on the inside the glass, they put in these blue panels. And here, like that's the blue panels. And that's the glass, and that's the panels there. Right, you see how that works? I hope that makes sense, it's kind of confusing. So they've put in like the glass is the actual building, and then there's a scaffolding that's temporary, and then there's the internal walls which is temporary. There's the helipad again. Right, and then so this wall is the inside wall of the exhibition hall, and then outside wall of the exhibition hall is glass like that. Oh, and then this goes back to the garden, and then that way is the atrium again. So the atrium, so the front, let's say the front is the atrium, and then the sides is, one side is garden, the other side is black gold bar, and then the back is the exhibition space. Right? Okay, cool. Yeah, cool. So that's all the service areas on that level. On this level, there's other service areas. Here we have toilets. Oh, even the toilets are fancy. Look at the gold and the black. And what is this chair? You can lounge in the toilet. Oh my. They have very fancy chairs in the toilet. Ah. How many of you have a couch in your toilet? None of you have a couch in your toilet. Oh, look how shiny and fancy this is. The luxury as you poop. Amazing. Back here we have some maintenance corridors. It doesn't really do anything except join up different spaces. Right? Where's this? This is... this is the nothing space. The space that... What happens to your palace when you have too many spaces? We have a bit of a cupboard here, nothing special. And then down here, I think we just go back into the elevator lobby, right? Okay, elevator lobby here. Yeah, it's just connecting spaces, basically. So this side, the service corridors don't really go anywhere. On this side, though, it's a lot more stuff. Let's come in through the back door. We have a lot of corridors, and then kitchen. Kitchen. I mean, yeah, okay. They call it a kitchen, but you'll notice there's not any cooking facilities. It's mostly for serving prepared food. So there's a lot of prepared food here, right? Fridges. But there's no stoves, there's no ovens. So they don't cook here. They just bring the food here, maybe they heat it up a little bit, and then they serve it from here. And I was thinking, like, because look, this space down here, there's no dining area. Right, there's the atrium, there's the garden, there's the black gold bar. I guess you can serve food at the bar, but you kind of don't. And then you have the exhibition hall. There's no restaurant, there's no banquet hall, like there's no dedicated food space. So you have a quote-unquote kitchen, but there's nothing to cook for anyway, which is a little curious. So I guess it's just going to be this. It's just going to be like a place to serve food, but you're not actually doing a lot of cooking here. We have changing rooms in here, inside the kitchen, which is kind of unhygienic. I don't know why the changing rooms are in the kitchen, but... Over here we have, I guess, supposed to be the pantry or something. Again, like there's not that much stored food here. And then we're behind the bar here. Alright, through this way, corridors, basically nothing corridors. We have a briefing room, so a staff briefing room
Perhaps deal with the sanitation facilities?
for staff meetings. Yep, back out. And then another like nothing space with nothing in it. Here we have a staff toilet. And this goes back upstairs, we don't need to go upstairs again. And there's the kitchen. Where's the black gold bar again? Hold on. Is it downstairs? There is no downstairs. Oh, I believe I'm lost. There's a back exit to the black... Oh, is it here? Storage... Right, it's here. So there's this storage. This is the alcohol. Alright, here you go. Fountain Dew. Wine. Beer. Barrels and barrels. So this is the alcohol. And then this is the back door to the black gold bar. Alright, I found it. Not lost. I'm totally not lost. And then the laundry. This seems kind of like an afterthought. And there's really not enough laundries. I don't think this is enough for this many staff. And where do you dry the clothes? These are just... These are the washers, right? Where are the dryers? The laundry is not really big enough. Oh, we have the other toilets. So on... There's two toilets, one on each side of the building. On this side... you get to poop with a view, look at that. Oh, look at the view. You can sit here and just contemplate the sky while you poop. Very zen. Is it
Hi,
better in
Sam.
this one? Oh, the view's even better here. Look at that. Where's the sun right now? So this is the south. That's the east. Oh, you can like watch the sunrise while you poop. Okay, and that's the whole building? Yes, alright, we've been through the whole thing. Let me get back up to the penthouse and we'll do some final thoughts. Let's go... Which way should we go? Let's go the back way. Just in case you're not thoroughly lost yet. Let me just run around. In fact, let me do something silly like climb the... You know what, let me not do that. Gonna be more trouble than it's worth. But you can climb the elevator shafts if you want to. Alright, take the back door. Up to the penthouse.
Just keep calm.
Oh. And then out the front door. And then stand next to the tree. Alright, let's summarize here. Okay, so that's the palace in Dubai, I guess. I mean, I'm still gonna call it a palace because it feels like a palace. Because what is it, right? So we've had like three major areas, three kind of types of spaces. The first one, there's the lower public space. The public space, there's the elevator lobby. You come in and you go up into the big glass atrium. Very impressive, very theatric. And then on one side we have the garden, on the other side we have the black gold bar, and then behind we have the exhibition space. So we have like art gallery, or like exhibition hall, garden, bar, atrium. And that's the public part of the palace. And then like in between that we have some service areas, right? There's a lot of guards. And then there's like kitchens, laundry, mostly a lot of guards. And then the upper part, the third part, is the penthouse apartments. This, which is basically a house. Very big, very fancy, very architecturally ornate. But functionally it's just a house with a study, a lounge, dining kitchen, 2 bedrooms, and a bathroom. So the layout is very basic, the function's very basic, and that's notwithstanding this elaborate blossoming flower motif going on here in the front. And that's it. So that's like the building. So I call it a palace because it functions like a palace. We are at the very top levels of the fictional version of the Burj Khalifa, which is the tallest tower in the world, right? In the real world, there is not a palace at the very top. But I guess what they did is, well, imagine we take this iconic tower and then we put a palace up there. What would that look like? And so then they turned that into a game level. Architecturally, there's a lot of like modern interpretations of traditional Arabic architectural shapes, like the arches, columns and arches, but not, not the same thing because it's modern interpretations of it, and then there's like wavy lines and all that. Not a lot of wavy lines in traditional architecture, but more so in modern architecture. And then like these kind of what do you call these? These shapes. These kind of like leaf-like shapes. There's a lot of black and white and gold. The ceilings are often blue to like evoke the clear blue sky. Especially like in the desert, there's a lot of clear blue skies in the desert. and like the neutral colors. Like there's like ground, there's like a cloud, there's white and clouds, and then kind of blue skies, and then the gold, the kind of like dull gold to look like kind of the sandstone. So the colors are reminiscent of the Arabian landscape. There's architecturally, there's a lot of plant motifs, as we said, a lot of plant and garden motifs. There's some water as well. I'm not sure this water is sensible, but so plant motifs. Again, the idea of a garden in the desert. It's very suitable for, you know, Arabian architecture. So structurally, I'm pretty sure it's not structurally sound. I'm pretty sure there's not enough columns holding things up. I mean, maybe it is. No, I'm pretty sure it's not. Like, the glass is too thin. If this is thicker, maybe I would buy it. I think it's just too thin. And so one thing that I really want to note is that when you're this high up, when you're above the cloud, literally above the clouds, the wind, that's like the wind really pushes in. The wind loads on your buildings is significant. Because the wind speeds are so high, and so, you know, like you have like giant sheets of glass, and the wind just kind of presses against it. It would just break the glass if the wind blows hard enough, right? And so to resist the wind load, you need like more structure to hold against the wind. If you look at like a real building, often, like, you know, near the ground, a curtain wall like this would kind of be plausible. Although the columns would need to be thick. You need like bigger columns, but the curtain wall like this on the ground would be plausible. I'm just a bit dubious about this high up because of the wind load. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is good enough. Like, I'm not a structural engineer. It doesn't look strong enough to me, though, is what I'm saying. Alright, that's it for Dubai. Alright. We still have to take care of our targets. Let me go ahead and deal with those guys. Ah, there they are.
We got him at 47. Soon there will be no more Providence.
Yay!
You need to find an exit. Our business is done here, but it's far from over.
Alright, so in the next video we are going to Dartmoor, which is in the southeast of England. There's gonna be a manor there. Alright, see you next time. See you in England.